think that it's possible to, have a spirit, or say, that your friend that passed away, do you think it's possible for these individuals, or these, spirits or souls or ghosts or whatever you want to call it, do you think it's possible for a piece of them to go and be able to be channeled through somebody else?
That's what I was telling my mom when I was downstairs. I said I feel like, because I was telling her how you look like him,
Mm-hmm.
and I told her I was like, well, what if that's him talking through somebody else?
Was he spiritual as well?
She believes in it, but she's not like like
No, no,
crazy.
no. I'm saying, was he,
Oh yeah, very.
like, in what ways?
Like the same thing as me, basically. Like me, him, and our friend Zach, we were all like, you can basically pick up on other empaths.
Now, so earlier, the first thing you said was about, I think it was, what, religion, right? So what is your take on religion? Do you or you just know there's a higher power?
Well, see, I believe, I believe there's a God in a way. It's like if like a, chancy chance.
Is there any way that God could have another name?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay,
I haven't got that far into it.
have you heard of the third eye?
Mm-hmm.
Could that have another name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you heard of intuition?
I think so. Ain't that like where it's basically like a sign, I guess?
It's like this, like, late at night, when you're probably sleeping, or maybe even it could happen now, or recently, where you're sitting here having a good conversation, with a complete stranger, and all of a sudden you have to go to the bathroom, perhaps, you get a little urge, and I think you gotta go pee.
Oh, you're talking about like gut instinct and shit like that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, intuition is like, something I would, anybody can have their own definition of it. You know what I'm saying? But my definition is, intuition is something that's in turd your wisdom. Intuition. It's an inner wisdom. And it's giving you this wisdom from inner, that you just, if you just build it, and trust it and believe in it, it gets, momentum. It gets energy. It gets, happy. You know, if I asked you what is the highest form of success, what would you say?
The highest form of success?
Yeah.
I want to say it, but I don't know how to
Say it.
word.
Just say it. Don't just say it. Just speak what comes to you first. Don't, I mean, you know, it's always a thin line, because you don't know who's coming at you. Is the good energy, the bad energy? Because if there's one, usually in duality, the world we live in, there's two. Because if without bad, how you gonna know good and up and down, all that? But there's never, no wrong way to ask a question. But words, like we said earlier, they have a lot of different, meanings for different, people. So is that what you mean when you say you don't know how to word it?
I know what, like I think of it, but I just don't know how to put it into words.
You can't type it.
No, like, when you have something in your head, but you don't know how to explain it.
I mean, yeah, it's like unexplainable.
Uh-huh.
So what's unexplainable? Or
Like,
go ahead.
I'm confused. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know how to, like, I don't know how to.
You know, listen. I feel you may be a little you're kind of like you said earlier, maybe a little shy to say it. You know, the thing is this. You know, you know, when we first started talking, you told me about, I asked you, is there any way to build it? You know, just like I'm saying with the intuition. Listen, if there's anything you want to do in life, right? The first thing you do is you close your eyes and you get real happy, right? And then you think about doing it. And then you start practicing in your head. And then you start, doing it. And it gets, you know, anytime you do something more than once, it usually gets a little easier, you know? But when you come together like we are, and you start getting aligned, say on the same, kind of frequency or wavelength or, whatever, you know, it gives it, a little more what? Attention. If you put your attention, your imagination, and your concentration on what we were just talking about, you know, it's got to get better because it's got to evolve.
I don't, that word, like, I don't know if that word's true or not.
What word?
It gets better.
Better. You're right, though. You see, because I mean, you know that I understand what you're saying because you're saying I
That's
don't.
the negative part of me.
It's a what?
So that's the negative part of me.
But it's not the negative side necessarily. It might be the realistic side of you. Because at the end of the day, you don't know how many times somebody asks people. People get asked, "How are you doing today?" And you say, "I'm doing great." But are you really doing great? Nope. But you know, that's how it works. They. But that's the thing. You understand? I used to, I always got told, that they, by my kid's mother, you don't look happy. You look, man, whatever it was. But I was always happy on the inside. But when you're around the wrong frequency and the wrong people, things will happen that take away from who you are. And when that happens, you're only hurting yourself. And that's when you start lying. And when you start lying, you know, you start lying to cover up lies. And then everybody, you keep getting lies and lies. And you're losing what you had because you're lying. I mean, there's a couple. Okay, so what do you think about fear then?
Oh, I got a lot of that.
Okay, well, what are you scared of?
Everything, basically, almost.
But but this of such a unique individual that has this specialness, right? Because it's a gift. You said that you got. So, do you think perhaps that you got a gift there, but then maybe you lost it over there? Cause what are you scared of?
Like, my biggest fear, or, like, in general?
All of it.
It depends on what we're talking about, because I got a lot of fears.
Listen, and I got a lot of time to talk. I mean, we can get off of this and do it, just me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is where you learn to grow as whatever. I mean, I don't. The thing is the realness that is coming from both of us and him and whoever else is here, is so deep and genuine because we've never even talked before, and I want to hear, you know, what it was I was saying, that you said, made me cry. I guess it was with your, friend that I looked like, but, I want to hear the words I was using. Like, do you remember, like, anything of really what I was saying?
Kinda. I just remember you were talking about like how people on drugs and how it takes them down after and all that shit.
Yeah. I mean, because listen, you know, everybody's got a story. I got a story. And my story ain't pretty. You know, I got a lot of people out there that, will never look at me the same. You know, but just know the ones, not all of them, and I don't even want to, go there. But, it's just if you can't learn to forgive, you'll never be forgiven. If you can't learn to just love, you're never going to be loved. If you can't learn to just, like you said earlier, just not get better and just stay, thinking that it's not. Once you just start to think the bestest, most highest, most productivityest, most amazingest, most beautifulest, most undescribable thought you could have of what your dream is. And just like I said earlier, you get your dream, right? And then you get that little picture. Click. Okay, so now we got your dream, right? And now you're saying, oh, we can't get better. Okay. Okay, well, now I'm going to put the recorder on and I'm going to show you how we get better. And we're going to see how long it takes. And we're going to let everybody watch. Well, not watch, but we're going to let everybody listen. Not on here, but on here. You understand? Not over there, but over here. And that's if you want to. You understand? Listen, it's a class that we give. You understand? And the class is usually 9 months. But the progress is made by payment. And the only way you can pay is with your time. So, time is the most valuable thing you can get in life because you will not get your time back. And I'd be willing to give my time and my life to what I believe in. And I believe in showing anybody who is willing to give me the time to show them that it gets a lot better when you can just start. Like you have a genie and you're rubbing the lamp, or you're flicking your fingers, or you're closing your eyes. But when you get there, because it's not, it shouldn't even be when you get there. When you realize you are already there, it gets better. And there's one trick that will just, you feel it instantly. I'm ready to shoot to the moon. You understand? I got 3 kids. Now I've been gone for 28 out of the last 32 months. Now I've been hanging out though. You understand? And have I been doing everything right? Yup. You know why? Because I've done everything that I wanted to do. And I'm always going to do what I want to do. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not doing what's right for me and how I feel and how I think and how I want to be and how I see my goal and I see my future and I see everything, and I've already built the architect in my and I wrote it down and I drew it, and now I'm building it. You understand? So I'm building the foundation now. So it's already a done deal. So I don't know, but you know my YouTube, right? Well, I'm in my boxers and my shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, not on camera like that, but you'll get a glimpse of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even go on camera on here because I don't. You know, when you see it, you hear it, and you put them together, it gets it more real. You know, everything is so real that you're overlooking the realness and you're looking into the phone. You understand? You're looking into the computer.
I'm sorry, that threw me all the way off.
Nah, you're all right. Okay, do me a favor. Pick a number 1 through I don't know 24.
15,
What was it?
17.
17. As the sun comes up. 17. Why 17? I'm saying, why'd you pick 17?
I guess because it's the date my birthday is on, and then 7 is just my number.
Isn't when is your birthday?
June 17th.
I was about to say, if your birthday was yesterday or today, wasn't yesterday the 17th? You don't know either. That's awesome. Well, listen. This is week 27. No, wait, one. This is like week 20. This is either week 27 or 32. In between those 5 weeks, this is where we'll be at. This is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's just, I don't even know, but it's it's better. I'll tell you that. You won't be able to control your thoughts all the time, but when you can control them, the second, third thought, not the first thought, but the spot, it gets good because you're controlling all of them.
The kind of deity which a man, consciously or unconsciously, worships indicates the intellectual status of the worshipper. Ask the Indian of God, and he will describe to you a powerful chieftain of a glorious tribe. Ask the pagan of God, and he will tell you of a god of fire, a god of water, a god of this, that, and the other. Ask the Israelite of God, and he will tell you of the God of Moses, who conceived it expedient to rule by coercive measures, hence the 10 Commandments. Or of Joshua, who led the Israelites into battle, confiscated property, murdered the prisoners, and laid waste to cities. The so-called heathen made graven images of their gods, whom they were accustomed to worship. But among the most intelligent, at least, these images were but the visible fulcrums with which they were enabled to mentally concentrate on the qualities which they desired to